Hello and welcome. Tonight we will be bringing you the latest in what has been happening around the world, as well as what has been happening right here in Plattsburgh.
That's right. We will later also be joined on tonight's show by Dwyer and Joseph Ferris, who will be talking to us about an event later on this month that is in support of National Mental Health Awareness. So make sure to stay tuned and get ready to join us here inside the news. Hello and welcome everybody to this week's episode of Inside the News. I'm Michael Kimmer.
And I am Miriam Abdallah. Tonight we are going to start things off by taking a look at what has been happening right here in our local community.
For years, Banks Hall here on the SUNY Plattsburgh campus has homed thousands of students. Some of our students' fondest memories were probably even made there. However, it was announced earlier this month that Banks Hall will no longer be taking in residents as it is set to be closed down. Our Vincent Gragnano has more on the story.
Home away from home. That's what Banks Residence Hall has been for thousands of SUNY Plattsburgh students for over 40 years.
It has so much heart in it, but since it doesn't have the money in it, it's being left to the wayside.
It was recently announced by Plattsburgh State that they plan to close the residence hall at the end of the current semester.
High school graduation rates have been declining throughout the state. And so we find ourselves at a point where we don't need all the beds that we have.
The college says it plans to close the residence hall temporarily for 1 year.
The reality is, if for some reason we have a banner enrollment that's unpredicted, we could reopen it. There's nothing that, because we're not clearing it out, all the beds and all the furniture, it's all going to be there.
If I'm in 5 years from now and I'm thinking back in Plattsburgh, I'm not going to be thinking of a hall. I'm thinking of me hanging out with an RA or me hanging out with like one of my best friends.
Having fun and making memories. In Plattsburgh, Vincent Gragnano, Inside the News.
Each year, Relay for Life is the largest student-run event on campus, and this year was certainly no different as over 1,000 people participated in raising money for the American Cancer Society. Students, staff, and community members came together for an all-night event, raising a total of $57,000. Our Morgan Ruler has more on the story.
From the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., the field house here at SUNY Plattsburgh campus was packed full of people from all different walks of life. However, each person was here for the very same reason, and that reason was to raise money for an incredible cause that helps those who are dealing with cancer.
The event is to raise money and awareness for the American Cancer Society, a nonprofit in the United States that raises awareness and advocacy for and money for cancer research.
Obviously, not everyone has the funds to treat themselves in the medical industry that we have here in the United States. Things are very expensive, certain procedures are. So the American Cancer Society provides support for those people by helping people pay for treatments, by helping people have free lodging when they have to travel to go to a good treatment center. And they also have other support programs. So they have the Look Good, Feel Good program where they provide women who are going through chemo, who lose all their hair, they provide them with free wigs, which can be very, very expensive, like thousands of dollars. And so they do certain things like that. And so by being able to all come together as a community and raise money to give to people who are less fortunate maybe, or struggling with something that's just an obscene cost, it's a very good way to benefit our community and help lift each other up.
First of all, I think it's important all the money that's raised for the event. Obviously the money goes to a good cause, but actually the event itself, getting people together, getting people to walk around the track, show unity, be together for obviously a great cause, I think is an important thing.
The 2016 New York State champions and 9th-ranked Plattsburgh Men's Rugby Club and the Women's Rugby Club hosted their second annual Food Bank Sevens Rugby Tournament last week. Over 200 pounds of food was collected this year, all of which will be donated to local food pantries. Let's have a look at what the day entailed.
This event is about rugby, it's about the community, and it's about having fun. The main goal of the event was to raise food for the local community, so Clinton community, and also play rugby. The tournament works like this. We had 14 teams, 8 men's, 6 women's. The men's division was actually a national qualifier.
It's pretty big for community as a whole. It's a good thing for the school. It gets people outside. It gets the club a bunch of publicity, which is good. We've started getting different sponsorships lately in the past couple of years. And it's a great way for us to get out and donate to a local organization and help out a bit.
So we're holding the Food Bank Sevens here in Plattsburgh, the 2nd annual. I'm here supporting the team. I'm running as official today. Just supporting the team. We're trying to get some canned goods in, help out the less fortunate. You know, it's just a nice day to play some rugby.
I think it's important to connect with other people who play rugby, and also, you kind of bond with people out on the field, even though you're against them. But I think it's very important.
First off, people who play rugby are more passionate about their sport than most other small sports I've ever seen. And I think with how fast rugby is growing, it's going to be a thing. It's right now considered the fastest growing sport in America, and I just want to see more of it. And I think having these types of events, really getting the word out there, it's really well run, and everybody's having a blast. And I don't think there is any drawback to it at all.
It is now time for our 1-minute feature of the week, and this week we are going to be taking a look at the hoop troop here on campus.
That's right. We went right behind the scenes to explore exactly what it takes to be a part of such a fun and exciting team. Check it out.
My name is Emily Gandolfo, and I'm president of Plattsburgh Hoop Troop. I actually founded this club when I was a sophomore here, and what inspired me is I wanted more friends to hula hoop with. I have been the president for 3 years. My responsibilities includes running and choreographing our performances, making sure that the club is running smoothly and everyone's having fun. I also do a lot of coordinating with teachers and different staff on campus. We mostly do open flow sessions. Those are our weekly hoop sessions. Those are open to all members on campus. And then the main event that we hold is Back to Nature, which is a big music festival. That is April 22nd in the ACC courtyard from 12 to 3. We're going to be hula hooping, there's going to be live music. It's just a lot of fun, and it's a good opportunity for you to get out and enjoy the nice weather.
Unfortunately, it is time for us to go to a quick break now, but make sure to stay tuned, as up next we'll be taking a look at our top national stories.
That's right, and we will also be taking a trip around the globe for our international stories. See you in just a few minutes. Hello and welcome back, North Country, to this week's episode of Inside the News.
Next up tonight, we have our top national stories.
The third biggest airline in the States, United Airlines, has been under fire for over a week now, following an incident where passenger Dr. David Dow was dragged off a plane by authorities in Chicago. The airline's CEO, Oscar Munoz, has heavily been criticized for initially defending the incident, as well as describing the passenger as disruptive and belligerent. Munoz later apologized, calling what happened truly horrific. Oscar Munoz spoke out again on Wednesday on ABC's Good Morning America. He said United would no longer allow law enforcement to remove seated paying passengers. He also pledged a full review of the incident by the end of this month, and that employees will be encouraged to use what he called common sense when dealing with such incidents in the future. The video of the passenger being removed is one that has truly stunned the world and generated reaction all over social media. We went out into the Angel College Center to see what the reaction was like right here in Plattsburgh. Let's take a look.
I feel like they should have handled it way better than they did. It was too aggressive.
Initial reaction was shock. I was very disappointed. I was in disbelief that they actually did that. And it turns out the man was a doctor. So that's even more insane. And I think they just need to work better on their flights and how they sell tickets.
It's really dumb that planes overbook. I think everyone who pays for a seat should get a seat.
New York just became the first state to make tuition-free college available at 2-year and 4-year colleges. The tuition-free Excelsior Scholarship was rolled in with the newly passed state budget last week. This means that public, state, or city colleges will be free for residents earning up to $100,000 a year, and that income cap will lift to $125,000 a year by 2019. Students must attend full-time and will still be on the hook for room and board fees. And after graduation, recipients must also live and work in the New York State for the same number of years they received the funding for. We took the opportunity to ask students here at the SUNY Plattsburgh campus what they thought of this new program. Let's take a look at some of the reactions.
I think it's a good thing. I personally do qualify for the free tuition, so I think it's a cool thing. I think it could really benefit bringing in more students to this community because, as we all know, that the Plattsburgh campus student population is going down.
I personally don't agree with the new income of what parents should or can make. Me personally, my parents, I wouldn't be able to get the free tuition, so I don't think it's fair.
Now moving on to international news. Prince William and the Duchess of Cambridge are set to attend the upcoming wedding of Pippa Middleton. Pippa is the younger sister of Kate Middleton, and she will be marrying financier James Matthews on May 20th later this year. The Royal Palace says that 3-year-old Prince George and 2-year-old Princess Charlotte will play an active role in the ceremony. The young prince will be a page boy and his little sister will be a bridesmaid. The couple will be saying their I do's at St. Mark's Church in Englefield, which is several miles away from the Middleton family home in Bucklebury.
Last week, Burger King launched a commercial with an actor using Google Home to advertise the Whopper sandwich, and Google is certainly not pleased about it. The actor in the ad said, "Okay, Google, what is the Whopper burger?" That's the call sign for Google Home. So the system replied to the commercial with information from the Whopper's Wikipedia page. Shortly after the ad was launched, Google blocked the ad from taking over Google Home. This ad introduces a new concept and potentially a new problem where outsiders can essentially hijack voice assistant devices to help propel sales.
Well, it is now time for us to go on a quick break.
Make sure you keep it locked down here on PSTV because after the break we will be taking a look at our top entertainment, sports, and technology stories. We'll see you soon. Hello and welcome back to Inside the News.
It is now time for us to go over to our entertainment correspondent for the latest in what has been happening in Hollywood. Deshanique is not here this week, so we will be getting the lowdown from our very own Aaron Kotel-Altman. Welcome to the show, Aaron. What's been happening this week?
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to be here this evening. First up, the Kardashians better watch out because the Jenners are keeping up. That's right, Kylie Jenner is getting her very own TV show. At just 19 years old, Kylie is the youngest of the Kardashian-Jenner clan. She's on track to getting her very own show called Life of Kylie. It's set to air this summer on the E! Network. 8 episodes will showcase this teen's life as a manager of a multi-million-dollar makeup company, Kylie Cosmetics. Producers say the show will also provide a glimpse into her personal life. This marks the 9th show to spin off from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which is now in its 13th season. And in other news this evening, it's time to get ready for Worms and Squirms as MTV is set to reboot Fear Factor. The network has announced plans to revive the Dare game show after 5 years off air. Hip-hop artist and actor Ludacris will take over Joe Rogan's longtime hosting gig. Ludacris will also serve as an executive producer. MTV says the show will go even further to test the bravery of each competitor. The new season of Fear Factor premieres on May 30th with a cash prize of $50,000 per episode. We spoke to a few people about just how excited they are. Let's check it out.
I think that Ludacris is Ludacris, so I'm not really excited about having him as the host of the show, but I think that the show was awesome. Like, they ate bugs, they stepped on weird things, they had like these weird wheels where they would have to like see what they were gonna eat, and that was really cool. I loved watching it with my mom when I was little, so I'm excited to see the show, but Ludacris is Ludacris.
I think Ludacris is, just a overall actor and is just hilarious.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today in the world of entertainment. Until next time, North Country.
Thank you very much for that, Aaron.
Now it is time for us to go over to our technology correspondent, Patrick Riley, for the latest in what has been happening in cyberspace.
Welcome to this week's show, Patrick.
It's great to be here as always, guys. This week has certainly been interesting here in cyberspace. Starting with NASA, who is gearing up for an Earth Day by offering up sections of the planet to its website's visitors. The space agency split the world into 64,000 pieces that it is adopting out of part of an awareness campaign. Each piece is about 55 miles wide, but users don't get to pick their slices. They could get Midtown Manhattan or a chunk of the Arctic Ocean, who knows? NASA provides adopters with detailed scientific detail on their slices of paradise gathered from instruments in space. People unhappy with their random assignments are also covered. They can explore NASA's world map and get the same data for any location. NASA's Worldview website gives visitors access to satellite images that are just a few hours old. Historic pictures for some locations go back as far as 30 years, so people can see how they have changed over time. Adopters receive certificates they can print or share on social media, highlighting their sections of the Earth. It is best to keep in mind, though, that this is just for fun and education. No legal or property rights are involved. We headed out to the Angel College Center to find out how just how many people are interested in getting their own slice of the world. Let's take a look there.
I think it's very nice. I think the Earth is very important. I think it kind of gives people a perspective on the Earth as well as taking care of it.
I believe that the rich will try and take advantage of that and just kind of, adopt pieces of Earth and be like, I own this piece of Earth now.
And of course, that is not all that has been happening this week, as hybrid car technology could well be coming to a police department near you. That's right, folks. Ford is launching its police responder hybrid sedan this spring. Police have been driving hybrids for some time, but Ford's entry is the first designed to be pursuit rated. This means that it is tough enough to handle serious police work like driving over curbs and stopping on a dime. This car's fuel economy is rated at 38 miles per gallon. Ford says that it equates to almost $4,000 in savings per car for the typical police work. But it's not total replacement for conventional vehicles. The automaker still recommends gas cars for highway work and says that the hybrid is best suited to urban use. Ford's hybrid police responder is expected to receive its official pursuit rating after police agencies test it in the field. And unfortunately, that concludes this week's technology news. I will be back, though, with all your top cyber-based stories.
Wow, he certainly wasn't kidding. Those were some pretty interesting stories. Thank you, Patrick.
Well, before we take a quick break, we have time to go over to our sports correspondent, Morgan Ruger. Welcome to the show, Morgan.
Thanks for having me, guys. NBA star LeBron James is helping to launch a new public school in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. The I Promise school is scheduled to open in fall 2018 with 3rd and 4th grade classes. By 2022, the school will expand to 1st through 8th grade. It's a joint effort between Akron Public Schools and the LeBron James Family Foundation, a nonprofit organization James created. The organization hosts educational and recreational activities for at-risk youth. And in other news tonight, the preparations continue for the annual Boston Marathon. The finish line for the race was installed last Thursday morning. As you can see, the line is actually a big sticker that's been applied to the road. Previously, though, crews would paint on a finish line. This year's Boston Marathon takes place on April 17th and is a whopping 26.2 miles long. It is important to remember to plan if you're going that way because there will be road closures and parking restrictions throughout the city. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for this evening, but I will be back next week with all things sport.
Thank you so much, Morgan. We will see you next week.
Now it is time for us to go to a quick ad break, but don't go anywhere, as after the break we will be joined by Daniel Dwyer and Joseph Ferris, who will be talking to us about a very special upcoming event, as well as the importance of Mental Health Awareness Month. We will see you in just a couple of minutes.
Hello and welcome back to Inside the News.
In just a few short minutes, we will be joined here in the studio by 2 students who are behind the You Are Not Alone rally that will be taking place later on this month.
That's right, but before we do so, let's take a quick look at what this event is all about.
On April 28th, the Plattsburgh community will be able to show their support for others in need. The You Are Not Alone rally is a superhero-themed march that is dedicated to helping others as they battle with mental illness. The purpose is to be a hero and share your story. We had the chance to speak to 2 students who helped plan the rally.
You Are Not Alone rally is something that I've gathered together with the help of NAMI and Imperium, which is a mental health association.
The You Are Not Alone rally is a rally structured around mental health and targeting mental health stigma. It's to promote mental health within the Plattsburgh community.
I am here at Trinity Park, and this is where the rally will begin. Community members will march all around the downtown area, and it will end at a local coffee shop.
Other events to promote good mental health will be coming within the next month. In Plattsburgh, I'm Carrie Gleason, Inside the News.
It is now my pleasure to welcome Daniel Dwyer and Joseph Ferris here to the studio this evening.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for asking us on the show.
Can you explain a little bit about what it took to put this event together?
So I've been working with a business called Imperium, which brings people of all different types out and gets them in the community, gets them involved again. Because one of the hardest things that people go through is isolation during mental illness. So we worked hand in hand with that business, and for us it was trying to get the word out there. Nobody wants to talk about mental illness. Nobody sees a sign and is like, I want to go to that. That looks fun. So for us, it's about being brave and getting that message out there any way we can.
I understand.
It's definitely a very creative way of getting that message out there.
Thank you.
Especially when you have yourself in superhero form on one of the posters.
Yeah. Can I show them the sign?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So working with Imperium and Dan, we made several different signs, and what he's referring to is I actually made this drawing with yours truly. That's me. On the sign, and I will say my boss told me to put me on it. That was not my choice. So,
No, he wanted to put himself on it.
I'm not.
He's just modest.
I am not that conceited. But anyway, so there was a mental health campaign that's been happening within the last 2 months, and the concept is be a hero, share your story, and that's what we're all about. Is everybody has the capacity to be a mental health hero. And that's why you see the cape and mask quality there.
Okay, so you use these flyers to promote the event. Okay, so when you, say if I were to come to this event, what can I expect when I got there?
You can expect people who feel passionate about being bold about their mental health. And also, we hope to have signs that have personal mental health messages on it.
We will also be hosting a cape making event. I think we'll be hosting that at my house directly, where you get to make your own capes and masks and walk dressed up as a superhero for the walk. So when you go to the walk, you'll actually see a bunch of people dressed up as superheroes, like bringing out the theme.
We're gonna have an open mic?
Yes, we are gonna have an open mic after the rally, and that's what this picture is. We're going to meet at the Coffee Cat downtown, where people will be performing and also sharing their stories about their own mental health and maybe the mental health of their family members as well.
That's great.
That is actually all the time that we have for today. I would like to thank our guests for joining us here on Inside the News.
Yes, and also don't forget that you can find PSTV on social media and get a look at what's going on behind the scenes. All you have to do is use the information you see on your screens right now in order to find us.
That's right, and make sure to stay tuned to PSTV this evening, as there are many great shows coming up next. Until next time, North Country, I'm Miriam Abdallah.
And I'm Michael Kimmer. Have a good night. Time is nigh.
It's Kardashian. It's time to get ready for Worms and Squirms. I'm sweating.
You keep saying rugs.